Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to discuss about the card the Fool. So this card belongs to the major arcanas, and the specialty about this card is that it is numbered as 0, which reflects the beginnings but also the end. So it just reflects the eternity itself, and that is why this card is considered as the first card of the tarot, but it is also considered as the last card when it comes to the major arcanas. So this card reflects the journey, the potential of the card that is, coming up. Or if you have already studied about all those cards, then it totally depends on how willing you are to understand the fool's journey. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the symbols that this card is holding. And when it comes to the symbols, this card seems to be very rich. It's a very vibrant kind of a card that reflects the positivity, the optimism, and that is also a lot has to do with the color of this card as well. So the color is yellow, and we are discussing this as from the basic tarot deck. So that is why the reflection is yellow, and the yellow is basically for the optimism, the joy, and it is very vibrant. And that is why, as you can see, that the clothes of this innocent young man are also very vibrant, colorful, that reflects the I would say the possibilities and the passion, the growth that this person is having in his mind. And this reflects the youth, the vibrant things that a youthful mind has. And all of these is reflected in a very I would say lovely manner in this card. The card is very rich when it comes to the symbols and the reflection. So talking about this card, we see lot that is happening. And if you're taking this as a first card, then you can just see that only the pictures on a tarot card reflects a lot. And even if you're having your questions in mind, when you start reading, you pick up the cards and you can sense the cards talking to you. So if you are someone who is building up your connection with the cards, then the symbols, the colors, the activities that are happening in the card really makes you understand. If you have any question, you can just see what the card is telling to you, and it reflects in the richness of the symbols and the reflection that is there in the card. So talking about the symbols in this card, the sun is there. The sun is white. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yes, the sun here is considered as white, basically because it reflects the purity, the innocence, because this man is also young, who is willing to take risk, something a very young kind of a energy with less responsibilities. And why I said less and not no responsibilities, because even if the person is willing to go on adventures, even if this person is looking to explore a lot of things, to explore what is you know coming to him, he's still carrying the things within self. So this can also be considered as something that he's holding on from his past, some talents, some special skills that he's having. So and there can also be chances where you can perceive it as the past burdens that the person is carrying along in a journey to look further. So it is whenever you are studying a card, it is not that you just see a symbol and interpret it as it is, because there can be lots of meaning, there can be lots of questions that can come across, and it totally depends on your question what meaning you're going to perceive of things. So for example, if you are questioning about that, whether it would be good to start things right now or not, and if this card comes out, it can be anything, maybe your business, or trying to be in a relationship, or thinking about a particular person and trying to build a connection with that particular person. And if this card comes up, then certainly you can be in a thought where, okay, it's all positive, it's all good things are there, optimism is there, joy, the joy is there, so I have to initiate things, I have to take action. But at the same time, you need to be very considerate that even though this person is full of optimism, he is looking above, and he's not aware of the upcoming dangers, because he's at the end of the cliff. And if he doesn't pay attention or stay cautious, then he can also fall. So uh, it is very necessary for you to understand the question first and then interpret and then interpret the card accordingly. So talking about this card, okay, so I'm not just telling you plain meanings and plain I would say the written things that have been there all over the internet. I'm also considering things when it comes to reading, when it comes to answering the questions, because ultimately when you're reading, you're not going to no one is going to ask what a particular symbol represents. They would want an answer, and at that time what you perceive is very very essential, and what you connect, what your heart is saying, is very essential. So it is important to understand the symbols. It is very important to understand what this card is representing, but what is more important is to connect it with your question and then answer it accordingly. So talking about this card, the background is yellow, the optimism, the joy is there, but also there are mountains at the back, which reflects that there can be possibilities where this person can face struggles, where there can be obstacles, and if this person does not plan things well, or if he is not balancing things when it comes to taking steps, then these hardships can somewhere make it a difficult journey for him. So because of the optimism, because of the blessings, the environment that he is having, the strength, the courage that he's having within, he can make things happen. There's no doubt about it, because this is a person who is willing to take risk. But it is important for us to take calculative risk, you know and in this card, the purpose of this card is basically to tell a person that even if you're feeling happy about things, even if you are feeling confident about things, it is necessary for you to look out for the possibilities of the calculative taking the calculative risk is very important. So this is something that you, as a reader, should consider. And yes, talking about more about the symbols, there is the white dog, who is like a companion to this person. And if you would see carefully, then you would see that this person, that this dog is the companion, the friend, because dog reflects that loyalty. And that is why you would recognize that there is also reflection of the color white. The flower that he's holding is white rose. The color of the sun is somewhere also white. The color of the dog is also white. And if you would notice carefully, then there is a undershirt that this young man is wearing, which is also white. So all of this reflects the innocence, the purity in his thoughts, the dreamer kind of a thing. When you're a little child, you don't know if you're able to make it or not, but you are not but you do not limit yourself when it comes to dreaming, when it comes to considering the possibilities. So you can somewhere connect it there, a child dreaming of the possibilities. It is just that he's now young enough to make the moves. Now he's young enough to do what he feels is right. So this is something that you need to consider. And that is why this dog, the companion, the friend, is also making him aware of the possibilities of the danger ahead. So if in a reading, if this card comes up and if this dog gets your attention, if you feel the overall card is directing you towards this dog, then you can also suggest that there can be some people around you, the friends, the loyal people around you, who can provide you um, something important advice. So if you are planning to start things, if you're feeling confident, then make sure that if a loved one, if a person who cares for you is telling you something, you at least consider it. The optimism, the confidence is good, but the overconfidence can also create difficulties for you. So it is not essential that if you're feeling that optimism around you, things are just going to be very smooth. So to make the journey smoother and to lower down the expectations of the troubles that you can face, then you have to consider the other possibilities as well. And maybe someone around you, some friend who genuinely cares for you, some loved one who genuinely cares for you, can provide that essential advice at that time. So you have to be also considering all of those advices and making your decisions according to that. Because astrologically this card represents basically the element of air, and the planet associated with it is Uranus. So basically the planet Uranus is the planet which is considered as a rebel, someone who is not the planet that reflects that kind of positivity, gives you confidence, but it can also make you feel that you are the only one who's right. So the rebel kind of a attitude, the confidence, the positivity that I'm going to make it happen. So those kind of traits are also reflected. And Uranus is also a planet of sudden changes, of making things happen. And this can be something that you think about an idea and the next day you just start executing it. So that kind of energy that you don't have time to waste, and that kind of energy that you are the one who can make it happen, this is the kind of the energy that this card is also holding. And because the element air is also present, then it also reflects that it is more about again making things happen quickly. So yes, this card holds that potential. And that is why when it comes to the ways or the keywords that you can define this card is basically the new beginnings, the phase where you can feel free, the phase where you're ready to start, where you are ready to take the risk. And the possibilities can be there, that you can meet some obstacles, but still there is something inside you that you feel is guiding you towards your purpose, or towards what your heart is saying. So it is more about following the heart, trusting your own self, and taking the risk, the taking the leap of faith, which we say. So you can associate this leap of faith kind of a thing with this card. Because even though this young man is having that kind of attitude to make it happen, it is there is that faith within his heart is also telling him that okay, you can do things. So um, as we talked about the color white representing that purity, the innocence, the loyalty, and then there is that vibrant clothing that he's having, which reflects that he can have his own ways to do things. It is not that he would be restricting to one plan or just one thing, or he would just considering he can have a goal somewhere in his mind. He can have that okay, this is something that I want, like someone saying okay, I want $1 million, and then he has a business idea regarding it. But there can be that freedom in his mind, that he can experiment with a lot of things. So maybe if one thing is not working, then he can be a person who would not be sticking to one thing. He would be open to experiment, to explore, uh, without that fear of failing. So yes, this is the card that also reflects that it's okay to take risk, but again calculated risk. And the moment in this card is upwards, trying to live the life that he always dreamt of. So that is why he's carrying the his own stuff, the essentials that are required to make his dream come true, or that are required for the coming journey. And that is why this can be a staff, a stick, a wand that he's carrying. And it also reflects the power of manifestations, the power that he wants to create something new. He wants to put in a lot of effort, I would say, to make his dream come true. As uh, because the effort would be there, because the clouds are also there. His ideas, his the hopes, the expectations that he's having from himself are bigger than the obstacles. But the obstacles are still there, so this is something that should be considered. And I think we have covered all of the symbols here. The yes, and you can also see this red thing flowing, and this reflects the passion. The red, the colorful, the vibrant, the vibrant things also represent that passion and the will to create things. So all of those things. So overall, this card is more about making things true, what you're making, you are having in mind, without the fear of failing, without the fear, or without the fear of the things you feel that there are certain things that can come in your way. But you have that kind of mindset that no matter what comes, you can make it happen. So this is also this card of new hopes, new beginnings. And this is something that you can apply anywhere. So the way I have explained the card, because I have also somewhere covered the positives and the negatives of this card, so you don't have to really apply similar things to all of the readings. You can understand the concept, you can understand what the question is considering with this particular card, and then you can answer things. So we would also be covering about what this cards says in different sectors of the questions or the nature of the questions. So the most common questions you get regarding is love, career, and as an overall general message. So we have discussed a lot about the general message all throughout, discussing the symbols and everything. We have also covered uh, what can be the different interpretations when it comes to telling this card, when it comes to perceiving this card as a general message. But now we are going to dive in, talking about the specifics, so what it means in love. And this is the reason that maybe if you have seen some or maybe you have taken some readings, you can see that okay, for a particular relationship this card comes up, and you may must have heard that okay, this is a beautiful path, and the beautiful journey, the relationship is going to be beautiful, the relationship is going to be happening and everything. But then you can also feel that after some time that the relationship did not work out the way as smooth as it was shown, or it wasn't that much positive that you heard. So if you have been into tarot and tarot reading for a while, then you can also consider that why these positive cards, because why do these positive cards come up and things still turn negative? That is because, again, it also depends on the perception, it also depends on the question that you are answering. So when it comes to understanding the cards, and specifically when this card comes into relationships, then yes, the relationship is going to be very happening kind of a relationship, because the person that you're going to be with can be unpredictable, can be adventurous. And yes, we are also going to discuss about the person, this card as a personality, so that we will cover in detail. But talking in the aspect of love, you can see that okay, with this card you can see that this is going to be a very happening kind of a relationship. You can feel the flowers blossoming up, and everything turning into good, I would say. So that optimism, again, that joy would be there in a relationship. But when it comes to the long term relationships, when it comes to the commitment thing, then there can be a problem, because this person can have other priorities, he can be careless at times, and he may not think about long term very much. So he can love you today very very much, but when it comes to providing you that commitment, when it comes to providing you that security, the stability that you may need or may also not need in a relationship, that may not come across. So this is something that you can consider. Again, there can be more supporting cards around it which can say a lot about it, but if it is just about this card, then you need to be cautious about your relationship. If you are just if you're also in that exploring zone, if you are also in a zone where you just want to see what happens next, then this can be a very happening, fun loving kind of a relationship. But if you are looking for that kind of a person who would provide you strong commitments, who would provide you the security, then you need to be cautious. So that is something that you would have to be considerate about. And now talking about the career, so this card, again, I think I have also given in the example as well that this card is also good about the career. So overall this card is somewhere reflects that positivity, but again with the mindset of being cautious as well. So when it comes to the career, then again, the freshness is there. There things can be about new ideas, new projects, new beginnings happening. People can trust you as well, for making things happen again. But this is because of you having that kind of will to make things happen. So you can get into new things, you can, the new phase of your career, maybe some job change or some new project can come across where the creativity would be needed, where people around you can trust you with your ideas and everything. So you can feel all of those things happening. But again, this can be about more about the beginning, and to make the journey smoother, you need to be cautious, you need to take calculated risk, and you need to be aware of the possibilities that can come across your way, or can create obstacles somewhere. So this is something that you should be considering when it comes to the career. So if someone asks you they're planning to do a business or they're planning to switch their job, then you can say then definitely you can go for it and you can plan things accordingly. But make sure that you're taking calculated risks. So if someone is saying that they want to start a business, and if they're also doing a job, then you can tell them that do not just straight away leave the job and start your business right away, because it's all great, you have that confidence, you have that positivity. You can say that you can start the business, but also do not take that huge risk at this time, you know. So be calculative, because if things do not work out the way you want them, then you can just fall off the cliff as well. So this is something that you should be telling, you should be understanding as a reader, and sharing similar kind of things with the clients as well. So because the clients, the people who are asking you the questions, are the ones who are putting their trust on you. So it's your job to not to just show them all the goody goody things, or to just show them that okay, you are the one and who can make the changes and everything. It's not about just giving that pep talk to them, because when you're reading, it is your responsibility to make them aware of the things that they need to take care, that they need to consider, because they are somewhere trusting you. So you need to be honest, you need to be connect with yourself more, and say what you feel is coming from your heart. So even if you're sugarcoating things, make sure that you are telling the important things to them. Make sure that you're not just telling the positive things, but you're also making them aware of the things that can possibly go wrong, so that they can prepare things well. Because tarot and other divination tools are there for your guidance. So it is important for us to guide the people who are coming to us, so that all of us can take out something positive of it. So yes, that is for the career thing, that for career, it is essential for the person to trust themselves, to take the risk, but not the risk that can possibly reverse the situations completely for them. So be confident, but do not be overconfident, is something that you can understand from this as a career. And now, talking about the personality of this card. So, I do feel that when you have listened to this about this card till now, then you can get the personality. So this person can be a carefree person, but this person can also turn someone as careless if he does not hold himself accountable for his actions, because this person can be that one who can just do his own things the way he wants to do things, and he may also not listen to the people who are telling him to control himself or be aware, be cautious. So he can be that kind of a person who would want to do his own things, who would not be afraid to take risks, which is a good thing. But again, calculated risks are important. So this person can be carefree, but if he does not being cautious about his actions, then he can also be careless. He may not worry about tomorrow at all, and he may just be the one with whom you can hang out, have a good time, but he may not be the one who you can put your trust into, that okay, this is the person who would be making things better for me. So carefree and careless are two different things, and this person can be both. So it depends on how he is managing his own actions. And you can see, you can understand that what this person is bringing to you. So after having some conversations, you can see that if a person is carefree or careless. And yes, taking risk, careless, carefree, and vibrant, creative in ideas. He may not be the one who would just want to do same things or just want to lead a same kind of a life. Dynamic thinking, creative thinking, thinking out of the box, this person can be that one. And he can also be the one who can light up the room as well. So he can be the one who can be center of the attraction, uh, talking about vivid ideas, talking about the possibilities, the creativity, and everything. So you can feel that kind of optimism coming from him. So, yes, now summing up the beautiful Fool card. So, this is the card which is which represents the creativity, new beginnings, new phases, new projects, and a new kind of a phase where you just want to live life, enjoy life, and do things according to what your heart is saying. So this can be that kind of a card, which can also give you fulfilling experiences, and you can be open to explore things. You can be open to adventures. You can be open to take the risk and make things happen according to your way. So this can be that kind of a card. And yes, we have discussed the symbols, but if you still have some doubts, you can let me know in the comments below. And the next time we are going to discuss about the next card, which is the first card of the major arcana, that is the magician. So yes, that's all about the fool card. If you have any doubts, you can let me know, and have a great day ahead.